You're listening to
Tipsy Book Reads.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Jess.
And we're
tipsy.
Too many books on my TBR. Too many books on my TBR. Yeah. This podcast is like a book club for the antisocial. We make a drink inspired by the book we read and talk crap about life and fictional characters. We really hope you listen and drink along.
Side effects of listening to this podcast may include reading vivaciously, extreme bouts of laughter, tipsiness from craft cocktails, talking shit about life and fictional characters. Listen at your own risk.
Just a warning, this podcast is explicit. We are all over 21 and there are spoilers. We warned ya. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh man, I'm excited about this drink, so I'm gonna just ask you right off the bat, what you drinking?
Okay. We're drinking. What's this freaking thing called that she wears?
I was gonna say the amulet, but I don't think that's right.
The pendant.
The pendant.
What color is it?
Ruby red.
Yeah.
We're drinking the necklace. I'm scared.
It's gin and lemon raspberry cranberry. Cheers. And some other stuff. Follow us on social media to find the recipe.
Okay, it was gin, raspberry cran,
Lemon.
a little lemon, some club soda.
And club soda.
Hello?
And Saint Germain, of course.
We sound like my relatives. It's something that I realized a lot of New Englanders do. They add ER to the end of their words. So, like, there are many times where they'll be speaking of me in a sentence. They'll be like, Becker. Like, that's like a thing.
Not Becker.
Yeah, they add ER to the end of a lot of words, including my name.
No.
Better than Becky.
It's fair enough.
Oh, for me. If your name is Becky, that's no hate on you. Just, I'm not a Becky. Or a Becker, but.
Yeah. My family from, like, Pennsylvania area says E's instead of A's. Like, basketball instead of basketball. And sometimes my sister does it, too, and she's never lived up there. And I'm like, stop. You have no excuse.
Oh, boy. That's what we always say, my siblings and I, whenever we're talking. And, you know, we've spent time with our New England family, and all of a sudden, like, words will start slipping. And we all go, stop it.
Oh, my
that
gosh.
ain't it. We are Floridians. Oh, I have a hair tie.
Oh, hello.
Cute. Okay, anyways, what world are we living in?
T.A. Riley world.
Woo!
T.A. Riley's world.
Cute. The more I look at this cover, the more I love it. Like, I realized today that there's a subtle hints of trees in the background.
And, like, all the little things are the necklace shattering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. And on the back, too. It just continues.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love it. What a pretty dagger. I want that in my life.
Ugh, I know. When I was taking pictures of the book, I was like, this is so lame.
Oh, dang. I have my dagger
I
in my
know.
car.
Remember when I had your dagger for like 2 months because we were like, we may need it. And then I gave it back to you.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
Anyways.
I just pulled our dollar store pages of books and put it around it because I was like, I don't have anything fantasy. Like, nothing. All my detail things are weddings. And I can't say that I have had any fantasy weddings.
You need a dagger in your life.
I do need a dagger in my life. And Spotify's going to take us off because we just violated so many rules.
You know what?
You know what? TikTok.
Yep. That's where I was
talk
going
about
with
it.
this.
Let's talk about TikTok really quick. So there's been a few videos where we've gotten like 4 views. Like, I'm not even joking. 4 views. And I've never understood why. Because we'd use the same hashtags. Like, we have over 2,000 followers. There's no way that 4 of them saw it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, so finally the other day I realized, like, I can click more data.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
And so I did, and it said we went against community guidelines by making an
unoriginal,
low
or-
quality, or a very short clip, which we may have. It was a short clip.
It was a short
But
clip.
what is their definition of short clip?
Because also I've seen some very short clips on TikTok on my For You page.
So I don't understand. Yes. So
they just
anyways,
pick and choose?
I appealed it because that's ridiculous. And it was about this book. And I was talking about the time traveling fantasy aspect of it. And like bullshit, TikTok would love this book.
Mm-hmm.
Like Book Talk would eat this up.
Honestly.
And they totally hid me. And I'm so pissed about it. And so what happened was she posted it. And then while I was like on a lunch break or whatever, I realized that it literally had 3 views. And I was like,
No, ma'am.
me, Jessica, and my brother. And that was it. And I was like, what? So I deleted it, which we do all the time. Like if one doesn't do well, we delete it and then repost it. And then I reposted it.
And it did no better.
And it did horribly. I think it did worse. It got 2 for the longest time. Now we're up to 5.
Wow.
But it says it does not qualify for the For You page. So of course people aren't going to see it.
No.
And even
That's
when you're
so
scrolling
wild.
on your friends, like what you follow, it's not in there.
So dumb.
Bullshit. Anyways, that's so unfair. And if we don't talk about Actar, then it doesn't go viral.
True that. Rude. There are other good books out there besides just ACOTAR,
Yeah.
okay?
Actar is great. It's wonderful. But also,
However, there's more.
there's more. There is. I promise. There's more out there. Anyways, I think that was going to be my, I didn't
We
write it
kept
down,
you
but that
up.
was going to be my,
Sorry, we'll
end of
circle back.
thing.
Full circle.
We'll circle back. I have another one that I wanted to talk about. So
Okay.
anyways, should we talk about our predictions?
Yeah.
Because I was fucking right about literally everything. I'm reading it. I'm like,
You're good about that with books.
thank you. I have fun predicting and ruining the ending for myself.
I'm just like, I'm here for the vibes. I have not a fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah, but I liked what you said, and I also liked the theory of Sebastian being taken to the modern world.
Yeah. I mean, it is a series.
It is a series.
We don't know what's going to happen out there.
You're so right. I'm excited to hear.
But you were right.
I was right. Do we want to talk about what we're going to do next with this series
Yeah.
with the author?
Yeah.
So I say this because I was going to ask you a question and realized that we hadn't talked about this yet. But we're going to do a Q&A with T.A. Riley.
Yay.
So excited. So that'll probably be come out on Tuesday. Like our Q&As have been coming out on a Tuesday. So that's exciting. And I was going to ask you, were you keeping track of questions that you had for her as you were reading? Because I did in my brain and I didn't write them down, and now I'm worried I'm not going to remember them.
Yeah. We'll have to when it's still fresh on my brain. So we'll have to consult real quick after we record.
Yes. And if you guys have any questions, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know because we'll ask if we get it in time.
Yeah.
But anywho, do you want to dive right in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where to start?
Well, where we left off, because it was a cliffhanger.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. The description of what was left, like the pelts of wool. Oh my girl. That was gruesome. Explicit. Oh, trigger warnings
Mm-hmm.
are all the ones from the same last week. But if you're joining us and didn't listen part 1, listen to part 1 and then come back. But also,
Yes. Violence, bloodshed, on-page death, profanity, torture, kidnapping, alcohol, murder, and explicit scenes.
Yeah, so if that's not for you, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
We will see you next week.
Yeah. But yeah, it was gory. And that man was a very mean man.
She got beat up.
Yup.
She was beaten.
Like on the brink of death.
Yeah. It was bad.
It was.
I'm so glad that your boy came and saved the day. Princess.
I'm surprised another bonding link thing didn't show up then.
I know. I mean, I was a little like, oh.
But maybe it was because like he was also going after the necklace, and maybe it wasn't as like at what point, like, yeah, it was dangerous, but was he really like
his life wasn't in danger.
Yeah,
That
like
makes sense.
maybe not quite to that extent.
That makes sense. Yeah, but I love that and his little wolf buddies.
Yeah,
that came and saved the day. But I can't even imagine that, like, her being just on the brink of death and, like, all of a sudden people touching and you just have to trust that.
right.
Ugh.
And the whole time, like, when she kept waking up and they kept, like, touching her and stuff, I'm like, homegirl has, like, PTSD right now. Leave her, like,
yeah, you gotta
step away.
Thank you.
You gotta, like, be gentle. Like, I know you're worried. Like, obviously, to get her out of there, they just had to, like, get her out of there.
Yeah.
But, like, once she was back at the camp and, like, healing, like, you gotta be a little gentle with her. I feel like they weren't.
Like, when they did the stitches and they were just, like, holding her down, which I know she needs to be still, but they were just, like, not gonna tell her.
Yeah, they, like, didn't explain it first. Like, just started restraining her. Like, how traumatic.
No, you gotta tell her.
You've got, like, informed consent, people.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a little bit of a theme in this book. Like, we need a little bit more consent in this book.
Yeah.
On multiple levels. But yeah, I am right there with you. The little part, I just know that you were kicking your feet when she asks if whoever it was that withheld her and had died, was killed, and whoever was, I forgot which one, was sitting in the chair, like, talking to her, and he was like, you gotta believe that Sebastian would not let someone walk away who has touched you.
Yep. I think it might have been code.
That might be it.
But yes. Oh my gosh.
I just knew. I was like, Jessica could be kicking her feet.
I was like, get him. You do
Don't
not
you touch
her.
Literally. No hands on her. Oh my
Don't even look at her.
I love that.
Same.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you want to talk about a part that, like, freaked me out? The whispers.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that has to do with, like, whispering that take people's voices that you love get me every time.
Mm-hmm.
That is my biggest, like, fear, and it would get me. If I was in this book, I'd be, like, walking off this cliff. Like, I 100%.
How they get inside your head.
It's very similar to Hunger Games Catching Fire.
Yes.
I still, to this day, like, can remember the exact moment of, like, reading that and seeing it on the screen. Like, seeing it on the screen was something else. Like, Jennifer Lawrence literally killed it in that scene. But anyways, I was reading that moment and I couldn't believe how bad that was.
Yeah, it was very scary.
Mm-hmm. And it's different for every single person.
Yep. And it was, very much like you said, like Hunger Games-esque of that. Like, it's this person you love and they're inside your head. And how she even kept saying, like, part of me knew it wasn't real, but I was like, there was no acting against my own brain of like I have to save my loved one. Dang.
That was crazy. And then Sebastian.
Yep. Yeeted off the cliff to save his girl. And then I just loved how that whole thing worked. Like, so she felt the pain in her wrist, and I was like, "Yep, second ring. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we knew he wasn't gonna die." But I love how he explained why he didn't die. Like, that, like, suspended him in air long enough for, like, the fairy to, like, what's his name?
I don't remember which
one's which. But for him to come and get him,
I was like,
incredible.
I'm just seeing him, like, suspended in air, like, okay, like, come get me.
Like in Hunger Games when what's her face not Hunger Games, Harry Potter touches the necklace and she just, like, floats up in the air.
Oh my God, her hair is even, like, static electricity.
That's, like, what I was picturing, just, like, midair, like, snow is, like, falling around him and he's, like, not moving.
Well, at least he lived.
Yeah. Very glad about that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Also, I love everybody's reactions to, like, their bond, and as it, like, continues to progress and all of the besties are like,
it's gonna happen. Why are you fighting it?
Yeah.
I hope that the elderly man and her become besties. Because they kind of gave off bestie vibes.
I could see it.
Like, you know, giving her the book.
Yeah.
Like, all those things. I almost was like, if someone finally kind of semi-nice to him. Like, she still gave her little attitude, and he quickly put her in place. And he was like, here, friend.
Yeah. Also, how everyone was like so wary of him, and then like they were chill.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh. Also, another amazing part when they're going back out of the tunnels, and she just thought in her head, oh, we were just going to hope for the best that he was going to keep the tunnels the same.
right.
No one had a plan B. Like, we were
We're just gonna roam around.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Totally.
Yeah. Wild. Is Draven still your favorite character?
He wasn't in it as much in these last parts.
That's true.
Like, the training scenes I loved. So, yeah. But I don't think I have another one that's superior over him.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, come on.
Come on, Jessica.
Come on. King Sebastian.
Oh, unbelievable.
What? I absolutely loved. Okay, so Sebastian was alive. They make it back to the chateau, right? And they were like having a little moment in the garden.
Oh, yeah.
And Draven walked in and was like,
Sebastian is like,
excuse
literally,
me,
go away.
we're having a moment.
I know.
He's like, what have I walked in on?
You know. Oh, man. I do love the training scenes, though, especially the part where they talk about not training with the same person.
Yeah.
And how important that is, because then you learn other people's fighting techniques. That was a really great insight.
Yeah.
And I think that that's going to come back into play, too, in the next few books of, like, how important it is not to just learn from one person and know a very wide, from being wolf to dealing with other fae forms and all those other stuff. Like, that's a lot of different fighting forms.
And how they shift in and out of their form, like mid-fight, too. And, like, how
Which is crazy.
Sebastian was saying, like, everybody has a tell, like, right before they shift. So, like, picking up on that from, like, multiple people. And she's even talked about that some, like, when she talks about, like, fighting practice with her dad, of, like, how she, like, finally bested him was, like, learning to pick up on the tells, like, right before he goes in for an attack or whatever. So, like, I think it's cool. Like, I love the insight in the
Me too. I love
and
technical
stuff.
things like that.
Yeah.
Like, dive deep into that.
Yeah.
I love reading things like that.
I want to learn.
Me too. Who's giving lessons? Are they hot? Are they fae?
Yeah, totally. I'm sure.
Okay, sign me up.
Oh my gosh, too funny. But yeah, so I loved that. I loved, like, I will say, like, so when they were talking to the elder and Sebastian and what's her face, Cass, had a moment in the little Silver Springs,
Yeah.
and I just feel like sometimes he's a little wishy-washy. He's like, oh, I'm gonna, like, sex you up, and then he's like, I don't want you catching feelings for me. I'm like, bro,
that's a little confusing. Number one. Also, she was kind of like, no, I don't want you in here, and he still did, and I was kind of like, buddy. She kind of said no.
Yeah.
Back up a bit. But I agree, though. I think that's one of the things that bugged me about him is exactly that. Like, I'm gonna make you fall so hard for me, and then be like, don't catch feelings. What?
Like, bro, first of all, you're already in love with her.
100%.
And, like, why are you pretending? Don't be like this.
Yeah.
Don't be a butt.
We don't like that.
No.
We're not here for that. Speaking of which, are we just gonna glaze over the fact that the king says that he has made many bonds?
Oh, right? I was like, little hoe.
And broken many bonds? So what does that even mean? Because some of the parts in here, I think it was Draven or whatever his name is, had said, like, oh, it's really hard to break a bond. And then one of them said once you've broken it, it's always kind of like a little bit tethered.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Yeah, I think like the further into the bond, like maybe
for
like
sure.
round
Yeah.
1 isn't like much of a tether, you know what I mean?
So then this little hoe knew how. We should stop saying that, actually. This little man, a trash bag.
He is not.
A bit. Knew how to break the bond by the. I mean, I know he said he knew how to, but he was like unwilling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! We just glazed right over that. Like it never. I mean, I know there was a lot going on, but if it was me before I went through the bonding ceremony, I would have been like, "Okay, sit down. We need to talk."
Yeah.
What do you mean you've been bonded with other people?
Right.
Because I don't understand how this works because I'm not from here. I need you to tell me more.
Yeah. For sure. Like 100% no hoe shaming. You do you, Sebastian. You were a free
100%.
agent. But also to that point where she was like, I want to break this bond. And he was like, huh? Like,
Yeah. It was just a little wishy-washy.
like he was just, yeah, like holding her in the bond at his will because he felt like it and he didn't want the other people. Come on.
I mean, she didn't really have a choice at all.
Right.
Like, that choice was taken from her, and that bothers me.
Come on, my dude.
Yeah. Do you know what else bothers me?
What?
The big bad wolf.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Same, because he's not. He's not. Oh my God. When he was like, so
going.
funny because when they were like finalizing their bond or whatever, and he was just like, in my mind, he was like trying to like seduce her, like saying like, oh, the big bad wolf's gonna get you. But it was one of those things that like when people try to be sexy and it's not, and it's just like cringe, like the whole like when people are like trying to like sexily bite their lip or something. That's what I was picturing. And just like if I was her, the way I would have laughed at him.
I did laugh. Like, I read that part and I just was like, no, you're not.
Because like
Also, calling yourself that in third person is giving like date Mike. You know what I'm talking about from The Office? When he's like, I'm date Mike. Like, that's what it's giving.
Or like him calling himself daddy. Like that's like another equivalent.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
like come to daddy.
Like,
that's like the big bad wolf's gonna get you. I'm like, Sebastian, stop.
buddy.
Stop.
You're just embarrassing yourself.
Especially.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're shook.
I'm so shocked that like Cass didn't call him out on it, because I feel like she would have been like, I'm not calling you that. Also, don't call yourself the big bad wolf.
You are not that bad.
Yeah.
With your bad
Seriously.
self.
With your bad self.
Yeah, that was so funny to me because like
It took me out.
especially because like he's the like, I will decapitate you if you look at her. What do you mean you're gonna chase her down as the big bad wolf? Come on. You're just a little cuddly.
Yeah, you just are trying to chase her down to cuddle.
Yeah, like you're not that bad. Big cuddly wolf.
I was trying to figure out if it was because I just don't like nicknames. And I was like, is this like falling into that same thing as like baby? But like what you said is exactly right. That's exactly what I was thinking. So sorry for the sounds. But anyways, we'll keep talking about this after a little break. So we'll see you soon.
But you're so right. I love Sebastian so much, but in that moment, I just wanted to be like, buddy, no.
It's giving like a middle schooler trying to like pick up, say a pickup line.
Yeah. Or like when you give yourself a nickname.
I can't do it.
It's so funny.
I'm out on that one.
It's also like a little bit wholesome. Like he's trying.
I don't know.
I think it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
He really wants to be the big bad wolf, okay?
He's trying.
But no, if I was Cass, I would be like, bro.
I'd be like, My dude, let's just take a step back. Should I record this so you can hear what you sound like? Oh my gosh. Okay. How do you feel about the king?
R.I.P.
The damn double homicide.
Dang, he really, his whole family just got wiped out.
He was king in 2.5 seconds
Yup.
with no training to
Yup.
be king.
I
So she's queen?
guess so.
Question mark? That's a lot.
So.
How many weeks have passed?
I don't know.
She went from journalist to queen.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the king, that was one of the things that I had like major highlighted was basically all of page 279 and 280, which was like Sebastian's conversation with his dad. And like, meanwhile, Cass is out there like half pass out. And that's when the third ring of the mating bond showed up. Because
he got there quick too. Sebastian.
Yeah, he did. And he was basically like, the dad was like, she's gonna die. She cannot handle all this power. You have to break this mating bond with her. Like, what are you getting yourself into? And he's like, absolutely not. I'm keeping her.
I love the part where he talks about she's gonna, what is it, burn the place down and I'll be next to her.
Yes, like I'll be clearing the way for her.
Oh my
gosh. Yes.
Highlight, double, all caps. I freaking loved that part.
Yup. He's gonna be clearing the way for her. His
As
big bad wolf self.
He was a little bit of a big bad wolf here.
Yeah. It's just not at like
He's gonna burn the house down.
It's just not a sexy thing. Maybe that's it. You know, like to me, I don't know. Maybe also I just like, it's like not realistic in my brain. Like I'm weird with like fantasy fantasy smut things in general.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, the way that I would cringe, like
I'd be like, no. This
So-
is not a turn on.
exactly. So maybe that's why I'm like, absolutely not. Because like, my dude.
I'm not laughing with Giddy. I'm laughing at you.
Yeah. Because that's the thing is like, I just like cringe so hard when people are like trying to be sexy and it's not sexy. So I think that's really what gets me. But anyways, yeah, he's gonna help clear the way and they're gonna burn the world.
Stunning. That's sexy.
You have a rose in your hair.
You know, just everyday things. I put the rose petals on the white sheet that's my bed sheet to do the picture, and then I didn't feel like throwing it away, so I just put it all on the ground. Like I just on my ground.
I love that.
It's still there. My room smells delicious, but now I'm finding rose petals everywhere.
I love that for you.
I don't know
Oh
if
my
I love
gosh.
that. But, oh yeah, okay, so he fights his pop, which I thought he was going to kill the dad right then and there. I was like, oh.
I'm glad he did not kill his dad.
Me too.
A little bit of, what's it called, patricide? Or is
Crazy?
that when the dad kills the kid?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm trying to be fancy with my words. It's not working.
I'm really impressed. I was listening to some other like book podcasters and I was chuckling because they never said like, and our phrasing of the way we every 5 seconds never came up. And now in my mind I'm like, damn, I love us. But anyways,
I need to get a rubber
Besides.
band every time I say like, just like.
me too. There's a lot of phrases that I need to break my habit with saying because I just rely on them. But we've talked about this before.
We have.
I think we've gotten better in our own regular lives, but once the camera is on, we just kind of get like a little camera shy.
That's true. And also, I think it ebbs and flows. It'll get brought to our attention and we'll be conscious of it and we'll get better. And then we get worse again.
Yeah. Also, our baby talk. Who was it that said like scary in a real day, like a real life thing because of us?
Fabled fantasy.
Yes. I was like, oh, we're influencing people and not in a good way.
So sorry.
Also, for all the new listeners that are like, why are they saying scary? It comes from my 4-year-old niece. Okay. She says scary and it's the cutest thing in the world. And so then we adapted it. Scary turtle is where it came from. And now it's like an everyday thing, but we have apparently influenced others to speak that way too, and I'm so sorry. I do apologize, but also I love it. I am not going to stop.
You can't make me.
You can't make me.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so Daddy King.
Not right after the baby talk, Jessica.
Well, I didn't mean it like daddy.
I know, but that was not good timing.
I'm trying to segue back into our conversation. I'm
that's
sorry.
so funny. Good timing, not good timing, perfect timing. I don't know how you want to put that. Go for it.
Daddy King.
Okay.
He is a complicated man. Especially the elder taking away his grief thing.
Yeah, so that he could rule. Wow. Ugh. And then
also
Sebastian's like trauma. Ooh, is it like Sebastian's trauma based off of that.
And Cass being like, they didn't take away his grief to help him. It was to help the greater good type of situation. But yeah, so Daddy's got some trauma.
Can we stop saying that?
Nope.
Everyone's got trauma in this book. But
They
you're
sure
right.
do.
I that's such an interesting choice for him, and I really liked it because it was at first, reading this, it feels like the king is kind of a horrible person.
Yeah.
And then you realize the decisions are made for his people.
Right.
And that kind of makes you feel like that you understand that a little bit more. Also, so he gave out his last power. I wish I had more on that.
I pictured it kind of like in Throne of Glass, the witches that have like, they can give that last like,
yeah. Yeah.
Type of situation, but then it takes them out.
Like balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is one thing that is a theme is magic in balance in this book. But the king finally realized his son is not going to get rid of this bond. And he's sassily like, welcome to the family.
I know. I mean,
what you gonna do?
Also, isn't he the one that locked them in the room together before the ball?
And was like, fix your problems.
Fix your problems. Like, he did this. He was the little matchmaker. He can't back out now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious.
What did you think was gonna happen when you locked the two
in a room?
Smitten, sexually tense lovers in a room.
Enemies to lovers. Yeah, come on.
So yeah, R.I.P. King, R.I.P. brother.
we wind.
Too many
throwback comments from pre-episodes. Anyways, which I feel like soon I need to go and listen through all of them just to be like, how much do we need to delete this?
We're talking about cringing at people.
Cringing at ourselves.
It's fine.
Big time.
It's totally fine.
When we did the best friend thingy, I cringed in the video and while I was listening to the episode. I was like,
sometimes you just have to cringe at yourself.
Oh,
that's what life's all about.
Life is all about that.
Just laugh at yourself.
Should we talk about the mating bond itself?
Yeah.
Because, wow, they go to a whole world. interesting.
Secret
Through a rock.
cave.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah, they went through a rock.
And she was like, what the f-? See, that's another thing. Like, our communication king is not communicating in this part. There's a few things that he is not doing his due diligence in, which is, let me take 2 seconds to explain what we're about to do. We're about to say some phrases. This is what it means. We're going to go through the rock. Trust me. That's all he had to say. And instead, he's like, just follow my lead. Jumps the rock. Come on. Communicate.
Yeah, so that was absolutely wild, and how nobody else can get into that rock.
Which I feel like that realm area is going to come into place in the following books, because there was a whole point on like how that's the most powerful magical place.
Yeah.
And
she's the most magical, powerful person because she's got the power of 4 freaking like elders, basically.
So there's no way. It's just like, how does it come back into place?
Yeah.
What are they going to use it for? Are they going to use it for protection? Can they siphon that magic? You know?
Yeah. Also, when they find the other artifacts, it could come into play that way.
Are they going to hide them in there? Or are they going to destroy it? And she's going to be the most powerful person?
Maybe she can harness all of their power. What about Kat? So she sent Kat home.
She'll probably be the one that
You
breaks
think
the other one. Yeah.
I'm thinking, because she said she would.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking.
But girl, I'm scared for her.
Yeah.
I kind of just want her to live her life
Yeah.
in the mortal world.
At least
What is she telling her parents?
Right.
She died? Are they going to have a whole funeral for her?
How are they going to explain? I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm morbid. I jumped right to that.
No, that's okay.
You know? I still can't get over her being late to a TSA pre-check line.
Honestly. Also, I wonder if the times line up. Like, however many weeks they were here, is it the same amount of time in the mortal world?
Great question.
So when Kat gets back, is it like, we were gone for this many months or whatever, unaccounted for, or was it like a day or two to them, you know?
What a great question. I want to know, too. I want to know. Because it is time traveling.
Yeah.
So, like, they go back into time. So it's not like they're going to another world where the times could be... Time itself doesn't change.
Right.
Unless something in the fallout at the... You know what I mean? In her world. Is that what it's called? The fall?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, I think it's
It
the
is
fall.
The fall that magically changed the way that time progressed too.
Yeah.
Like you're I'm so curious now.
Or like, because this was in the future, for example, and they're in the past, is it like no time at all has passed because that's so long
Can they
ago?
hop back in specific times?
Right.
Yeah.
Or like until that time meets up with the other timeline, then it would like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it was so far in the past, maybe it's like they're still waiting on the plane or something.
Yeah.
Like, maybe no time. I need to know.
I know. I'm curious. Wow, that's fascinating because that does play into her getting back within a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, for certain events that could happen, wars, and oh my gosh. Great point.
But yeah, there's a lot that went down. Also, Big Bad Wolf is now king, and
Big Bad King.
Big Bad King.
He is a Big Bad King, though.
He
He's declaring
It's
war.
like, we're going to war.
My favorite part, the little wolf buddies making bets on how long she would last without like breaking down and being like, "Tell me now where he's at."
Yes.
But like, can't you just ask in the bond?
Right. Well,
They didn't use their bond a lot.
no, but also maybe his walls are really strong because he was talking about she can still get through. He can still get through her walls because like one, they're weak. Also, he has lots of training.
Weak.
And so maybe he has like really good walls that can even block her out, type of situation.
What a bitch. Anyways, that was really funny. Where they're like, pay up. who had 2 days?
2 days.
Oh boy.
I love it.
But I do feel like that decision and his little speech when he was officially like, "Oh, I'm king," was a huge sight into his character himself too.
Mm-hmm.
The reaction of that moment was a big insight for us, I think. Maybe he is a big bad wolf.
We got Big Bad King, and we got the most powerful girl in the realm, and they're gonna burn the world.
And I love that for them.
Anywho, so
is she queen now?
she queen.
What is the time, like, difference? What's going on there? Is sister going to come back? Are they going to use that magical bonding world where fairies and trolls live? No, I'm just kidding. For the war, and then their allegiances. How will that play out?
Right. Because the little bond of boys, some of them are still just princes. So now 2 of them are kings, including Sebastian.
Yeah.
So obviously the other king, like his realm will come to their aid. But who all is going to fight against the Seafers and the Nordak? I don't know.
Interesting. And Kat's guy who helped her, who was that, like a soldier?
Yeah, as
Eris?
I don't remember his name. But yeah.
I wonder what's going to happen with that.
Yeah,
because
especially
he was falling for her big time.
Because they had the whole conversation like, is he the one? And she's like, maybe in another time.
Oh,
So she's gonna come
need
back
that
with
story.
the artifact, and they're gonna bond.
what if the next book is in the sister's point of view?
Ooh, I would totally be down.
100%. I love a
But
dual
also-
POV.
I need more Sebastian.
I know you do.
I loved it. I cannot
I'd recommend.
wait to talk to T.A. Riley.
Oh my gosh, I know. I need to write these questions down. I already forgot them.
So I can't wait. I can't wait to read the next one. I would totally recommend this book.
Yeah, absolutely. I do recommend this book. I'm so happy I was right about what happened. I shouldn't be that
job.
excited, but I am.
Good job.
I knew one of us might have been correct when she reposted and said and listened to their predictions with the little eyes. Like, I was like, one of us is right.
Anyways, is that all as far as the book goes?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What kept you up? What kept you home?
You know, lately I've been reflecting on a lot of books that I've read in the past. And there's this TikTok sound that's going on right now. And it's it's from Glee. It's what's his face singing
All this work and what did it get me?
Yeah. And someone was like, when you read a whole book series and the character loses their power. And it made me think about Shadow and Bone again.
Still mad about that.
Still mad. And at the very end, when they go back to, like, when Lee goes back to the boy and girl, and she writes about Elena, or I forgot how you say her name.
One of those things.
Yeah, like sticking out her hand and feeling the light rays in the window, and just like picturing that literally breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because she gave up so much, like everything, and she no longer has her power. And then like she was grasping at straws
the
for that.
reminiscing of it.
Of the sun rays being her
Yeah.
her power. I can just see it
Like a phantom limb.
if I were to
the pain.
right? Yes, exactly. If I were to photograph that, if I were to set that up, it would be like a shot with like quite a bit of distance with a hall, and I'd be at the end of the hall
my
photographing
gosh.
it, and it would just be her outline, her silhouette, and like her hand coming through with the rays, and like that, and just like a close up. Then if I were to like videoing it
Yeah.
like coming up slowly,
Just like
Yeah.
just out of your reach type
yeah,
of
just out of your reach, like, and then right there it would like cut off.
dang.
I
Wow.
still think about that, so that kept me up. And then just also our girl. I should have said spoiler warning for Shadow and Bone. Spoiler warning for Throne of Glass. Which name should I call her? I'm scared to give any warnings. Someone loses their powers, but not all the way. It's like slightly
Yeah.
there. And that made me mad.
Yeah.
But not as bad as Alina literally losing everything. Gone.
Right. Dang.
Not even a touch of like embers.
Right. That's so right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Anything keep you home?
I don't even know what I did this week.
Fair enough.
That's probably not a good thing. What did I do this week? I worked a lot. So what kept me home? What kept me home, Jessica? Okay.
Yes.
I took a long ass nap the other day and that felt good.
I love that for you.
That was like, I texted Jessica and I said, don't be alarmed if I don't respond. I'm going to bed.
Well, because I had to check my little Tamagotchi's location. Keep up with my Tamagotchi. I hadn't heard from her all day.
Like 2 days. No, I was gone for like 2 days.
I was like, hello? Hello? Are you alive?
My bad. I also feel like I'm in that weird mental state where I'm having trouble responding to things now. I don't know what that says about me at the moment. Probably hitting that depressive episode. It's about that time.
But we're finally getting more sunlight.
I know. But anyways, but I actually had a wedding all day. So there's a good reason why I wasn't responding. It's because I literally couldn't.
Yeah.
And then another day passed and I didn't. So I feel bad. I was like, I'm alive.
It's okay. We both do that to each other from time to time.
I'm functioning. I'm alive. Just
as
barely.
long as you're drawing breath, I'm good.
I am.
Good. Okay. Speaking of Lee Bardugo, I am currently rereading Ninth House. I've been like in my reread era.
You need to keep the blog updated with these things.
Okay. I also just finished Song of Achilles.
I love that for you. Actually, I don't love that for you. That says a lot about something.
Says a lot about me.
I don't know. That's wild.
I wonder how many times I've read that book in the last 3 years.
Probably a very unhealthy amount. I feel like
probably
we should talk
like
to
8
someone
times.
about that.
I said something to my cousin the other day that I was rereading it, and she's like, "Oh." I love it. So that's been keeping me home, is rereading good stuff, and keeping me up. Exciting. What did we read? The Shadow of the Gods. Yes. The third one I saw has a release date now of October of this year.
Ooh, when I was at Writer's Block the other day, I got the second book to start reading.
Yay! I still need to get it, but I did see that there's a release date, so we love that.
Oh boy, now I feel more like I feel better starting the second one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I don't have to wait as long.
Right, because it's always daunting when you don't know. It's like, could be years. Same thing with Song of Achilles and Circe, and she's doing the Persephone one, and how I've been waiting for years, and I'm like, So,
hopefully soon.
And then, other than that, do we want to announce our next book?
Yeah, we actually don't have this book this time. Like, legitimately, we don't have this book.
We do not own it yet.
But what's wild is today, before recording, we realized that we misjudged books timings.
Yeah, we had a gap.
We had a gap that we didn't know we had. And so we have a whole list going. But something that's been on my For You page a lot that I recently just put on my list to read, I was like, why don't we just do this book? Because I bombarded right now my For You page and I need to read it. And so it's called One Day.
By David Nichols.
And it is a Netflix movie right now. TV show. They did a show. And everyone is just losing their minds over it. The reviews make me think we're going to love this book.
Becca said, do you want to read a heartbreaking romance? I said, do I ever? I just finished Song of Achilles. I'm ready.
So I don't even know if you call this a romance, so we'll find out.
Okay.
But
can't wait.
That's what we're going to read next.
So get that book, read along with us.
And stay tipsy.
Stay tipsy.
Bye.